Welcome, welcome. I've got Chris on the show with me today, my good buddy Chris, who is,
Good morning, good morning.
how you doing? It's been a minute.
It's been a little while, bro. I've been missing out on these. Um, you know, missing just hopping on and yapping with you. So
Yeah, happy to have you back on. I love to get your perspective on a lot of this stuff here. So, yeah, I don't know, there's a lot to get into, but to kind of kick things off here, the markets are looking good. I don't know if you've been paying attention to like what's been going on with U.S. talking about this whole like Iran situation, but the markets have held up pretty good, pretty resilient. I was kind of thinking maybe we get a little bit of a sell off from that news, but they're holding up pretty good. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the market? Do you think the bottom is near? Think we're approaching maybe the next bull soon, or what are you thinking on that end?
I mean, looks like from pure like technical analysis viewpoint, price is kind of checked. It's kind of like bounced off of the 50, like high 50s, low 60,000 price point for BTC. So that's always good when you have like a major downshift in price again. This is usually when people can start to size in a little bit more when they see support actually beginning to form.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, the fundamentals for Bitcoin, as we've said, are actually pretty solid. So
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of talked about it in the past, but like, yeah, the fundamentals for the whole crypto industry just keep getting better and better, regardless of the price kind of like going south since October of last year. Fundamentals look great. Like the whole traditional finance world is coming on chain. All these tokenized stocks coming on chain. Just a lot of great fundamentals. Clarity still has a very good chance of passing, although like the optimism is fading a little bit. Um, yeah, like from the technical perspective, I would say like everyone kind of I would say the main kind of thought on that was like Bitcoin would probably chop back down into the 50 range. It kind of hit that. Some people still think it could go down to 50, but I don't know. Like let's see. The as my my friend Chris, not different Chris, macro guy always says like this past bull market was not like past bull markets. So he expected that the bear market would not be like past bear markets either. Could be a little bit faster. So let's see what happens. But
yeah,
although, yeah, things
valid
looking
sentiment.
good.
Yeah, I think so. You know.
Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it is also weird how these markets have played out. I mean, we've been doing the show for like quite a while, and then just seeing the very slow movements of BTC, kind of
Yeah,
lagging as well behind some of the more fundamental stuff is interesting. Goes to show, man, the best thing you can do in this industry is just have patience, you know.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, just to give a little bit of context for those that are tuning into EPU here. Um, Chris and I were co-hosts on a previous show that we were doing, the super chats, and this has been kind of rebranded. So Chris and I go way back. So yeah, glad to have him back on the show here. Because yeah, I think our banter is good, and I think that you have like some unique perspectives on a lot of this because you are into the weeds, as they say, especially with AI. So yeah, excited to talk about all that. There's a lot of news actually. So let's let's jump right into it here. I want to pull this up. So this came out yesterday. Um, Chat control, this new initiative by the EU government, passed Congress or whatever they call it out there in the EU, and it's like super sad. Just a huge stripping of personal freedoms, huge stripping of personal privacy. Um, like I always say, the best government is a small government, and centralization of power always leads to corruption. And this is a very good example of it. Levels kind of talks about, or kind of goes over it a little bit. And like something that's very unique about this, which was like kind of makes my blood boil a little bit, is like how they passed it. So like basically what this law does is it allows the EU government to scan anyone's personal messages, emails, photos, everything without a warrant. And how they got this passed was they waited until most of these EP members, like the European Parliament members, were on holidays, and only a few of them were present. And then they all of a sudden created this urgent vote and got it to pass through while like most of these people are on summer vacation. So just like a very tricky, sneaky, very sad way to get something so major like this passed. Very sad to see. Like Level says, like a little bit of democracy in Europe died a little bit today. I tend to agree, and I don't think that this is going to stop in the EU. Like I think that my personal opinion is that like Canada, EU, Australia, different places like this are kind of leading indicators on like where a lot of this movement is going. The U.S. has like a little bit more freedom still, but everything is kind of heading in this direction. So it's very sad to see. I don't know. Have you seen this? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, shout out to the Europeans for just shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over in terms of like, creating a good place for people to exist. And e-regulation notoriously like miserable, especially for things like privacy. And to be honest, this was quasi already like the case, there's like a lot of hate speech laws. There's already a lot of like censorship laws that already existed, and they could kind of get you there even if you weren't totally doing something wrong. But now it seems like, yeah, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You're just being fully monitored at all times. All of these like social media companies have to be compliant, I'm sure. So yeah, it's kind of weird,
Yeah. Pretty
especially
sad to see.
for stuff like Telegram. I think of like Telegram founder operating in EU, and I have to imagine like I don't know how he would try to continue the service here. That privacy is like one of the most important things for him. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know the story.
That's a great point. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know how he's going to go around that. Or if he's going to have to comply, because now the EU can basically just like make these requests for any citizen of the EU, make these requests to Telegram and be like, hey, like give me the personal messages of this citizen, and I guess he just has to comply with that. I hope I did read some reports that they're possibly going to make an exception for end-to-end encryption, which would be amazing. Because I don't know how they would go about this, because it goes against like a lot of these like Telegram and all this. Like it goes against like their principles and their also their design. So I'm not even sure how they would
Yeah,
pass along these messages if they don't store them themselves.
most of the, yeah, I mean, first of all, that's like a massive security risk because you're just aggregating all the information about people's um, activity. Also, most of these applications are end-to-end encrypted, so you can't even do it by design. So yeah, I don't really know how this is gonna work, but
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it's definitely like a pretty sad like power grab by the government, and yeah, sad to see.
yeah,
I mean, what citizens need to do, I kind of mentioned it. Um, I think they need to like vote with their feet, vote with their dollars, vote with um, their euros, and like use privacy preserving products. Like there's privacy preserving products you can use now, like Venice, which is a great example, where they don't store your prompts and everything that you write to AI, because this is the big thing, that like a lot of people do text things to other people and like kind of reveal a lot of their privacy in that way. But I don't think that even like remotely compares to the things that they're saying to their chat, like GPT and their different agents and stuff like that. Like people are telling these agents,
Yeah.
these AIs, like everything about themselves, every personal detail about themselves. And like, and if the government keeps going in these directions like they seem to be doing, like that means the government is going to just know everything about you. You're going to have no privacy whatsoever, because they have access to all this information without a warrant. This is super sad to see. So I definitely recommend using products like Venice, that preserve that privacy. They literally don't store this information, so they have no information to give to the government. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that my thoughts on that anyway. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like why this sort of space is like so, why people care about it so much, why people develop software with that philosophy in mind. Because, you just don't need to give the government, and then by extension anyone who has the means to just exploit a platform, the ability to chef all the information about people.
Yeah,
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see with these AI companies as well. Like, I'm sure the EU will have horrific regulation around AI as well, as they seem to just completely have the least possible priority for, like, market
they have not been.
participants.
Yeah, they have not been doing good on the regulation front. That's for sure. Like they are just notorious. Like the bottle caps situation in Europe, they're like notorious for over regulation and leading to bad places. So yeah, I can't imagine that they would regulate AI in a very good way. I think that most people need to like stop relying on their governments to protect them. I think that governments, I mean, it's a whole nother topic, but governments need to. I think the next fight is not going to be between like right versus left. I think the next fight is going to be between big government and small government, and people trying to strip away the power of the government because they realize finally that the government is not acting, it cannot act in their best interest. It's just too big, too centralized, it only takes like one little, a few bad actors to just spoil the whole government. So, yeah, that's my
Hmm.
thoughts anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do see a big like rise in populism globally. And it's like a very documented thing as well. It's just like the fundamental mistrust in the institutions. So yeah, for sure. Um, and I think seeing like the US is also kind of nice because they offer they have like a constitution level like power check on government a little bit. The
Yeah.
philosophy is kind of small government, even though, sometimes they just don't do that. At least it's the goal, kind of.
I mean, yeah, that was the original founding goal. It's a good point. Yeah, like the US is definitely um, one of the last remaining kind of big government powers in the world that preserves freedom a bit. But even that is kind of like heading in the wrong direction and kind of spiraled out of control at this point because, yeah, one of the founding principles of the United States of America was the reduction of centralized power, and like minimizing centralized power and control. And that's kind of like spiraled out of control because it doesn't really matter if you vote for the left, you vote for the right. The budgets have gotten bigger, the centralization has gotten larger, the like the power of the government has gotten bigger every single time, no matter who you vote for. So, like my personal kind of strong opinion on that is that the whole model is a failing model, and we need something new. I've kind of talked about a little bit with like network states. I don't think that's really fleshed out yet. I still think for a long time we're going to have to deal with what we have. But I think we can have new competing models like built on like decentralized crypto rails, like with network states in the future.
Yeah, it would be a really interesting world for sure. Network state government and
Yeah.
like power entities, I guess. I'm curious what it would take for that to happen.
I mean, yeah, a lot still needs to be fleshed out, but yeah, there's people like starting to introduce these models, like Balaji introducing like his new school network state out in Malaysia, which is interesting. So there's experiments being done now. So let's see what happens. More to come on that. But in other
Yeah,
news, I don't know if you have anything else to say on that subject before we move on.
yeah. I mean, I will say like governance needs to change for sure in this new age. Like governance is going to have to be different given AI capabilities and even thinking about how that will change as well is kind of weird. I don't know if government wants to adopt AI more for decision making or if they're skeptical. Um, if they'll even allow it really to influence the decision making. At what point they would allow it? Like, there's still growing anxiety, like socially,
Yeah,
about these tools capabilities. It's hard to find a lot of people super optimistic that aren't heavily involved. So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be very strange.
yeah, for sure, it's gonna be a strange future, and yeah, I believe a lot of the major change is not going to come. It never comes from the government. It's the government's just too big, too centralized, too slow moving with red tape and bureaucracy. Innovations are definitely not going to come through that model. I think it's going to come from the private sector and free markets. And yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Like even if the U.S. government wanted to start implementing like AI to help with decision making and stuff like that, it would take decades probably of
Yeah.
debate in Congress to get something passed. And I just don't see that happening in a fast way.
Yeah. The topic is just so brain dead. I don't know if you watched the Bernie like video where he's talking to Claude about like
So good.
what's the risk of AI to society? And it's like
Just a show.
yeah, yeah, just the way that the like government officials actually use these tools is so like brain damaging and like unfortunate, you know what I mean? It's just like a shame, but it is
Yeah.
what it is, you know. That's just the
I,
game.
yeah. I mean, yeah, on that subject, actually, good transition here. Like, yeah, I think like a lot of what the government does and Bernie, like that whole thing was just kind of a show, publicity stunt. Same with like him proposing that OpenAI and Anthropic should give up 50% of their or like companies to the government or percentage of shares in their company to the government. Yeah, it's all just a show. And like on that subject, like OpenAI and Anthropic um, are just like the whole battle between them is just heating up right now. Like I'm sure you've seen ChatGPT or GPT 5.6, the new model came out just yesterday. I personally
Mhm.
haven't had a chance to play around with it yet. Well, a little bit, like through their native hardness, I used it a little bit, but I'm trying to integrate it into my OpenClaw agent Charles. But OpenClaw hasn't updated yet, so I haven't been able to like really like roll that out yet. Have you had a chance to play around with this? What any thoughts around that?
Not yet, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I've heard the hype of that. It's like Fable tier or better. Um, I'm just curious to see what people agree with it, people are
Yeah,
able to do,
me
slowly
too.
adopt it. Yeah,
I mean, on that front, like I'm not sure. Like I've already read this kind of scoop here, but like apparently 5.6 here. This is the final model in the 5 series, and GPT-6 is actually even very very close, like earlier than expected. Could be like as early as August. So yeah, I don't know how much we'll even see from 5.6. GPT-6 is already kind of in the works here, and if we see it in August already, that could be pretty wild. And then to fight that, Fable also has that Fable 5.1 that is very very close. What does he say here? They're in the late stages of pipeline in the coming weeks. Fable 5.1. So yeah, the wars are heating up between OpenAI and Anthropic. They seem to be kind of the clear winners right now as far as frontier models go, but open source is like not too far behind. Like the GLM 5.2 is pretty decent. I use GLM 5.2 with Venice, and it's very very good. Like it's not like up there with Fable, but it's for 95% of the tasks that you need. It's very very capable. It's definitely like not too far behind. I don't know. What are your thoughts on kind of open source models, and what do you think the future is there?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before, open source has to become like one of the most important things for average consumer, because at some point these frontier model releases become too important to just be given out. Tokens are too important to just be given out to anybody that can pay, unless they're paying like absurd quantities. So we'll we'll have to see a lot more open source development. And as you said, there's already good models. There's so many people working on those and fine tuning and optimizing and making them as like efficient as possible, which is good. Um, and also it seems like we are finally getting like the newer super high parameter models that have been kind of in development like more recently.
Mhm.
A lot of the models that we've seen, like I guess in the earlier months of this year, were kind of in development years previous, and they're kind of
Mhm.
slightly older. But it seems like we're getting more towards what is closer to where we really are, you know what I mean, in terms of
Yeah.
AI capabilities and like the peak.
Yeah, and I think that
This,
all this is
yeah.
just going to speed up over time here because, like a lot of people have been talking about how these AI models are now being used to train the next AI models. So it's kind of like feeding on itself and like growing itself. So I think like this just gets more and more exponential. Like we're at Fable 5, maybe we can, like maybe Fable 6 isn't even that too far behind. I think the biggest limiting factor right now is just power and getting more of these data centers built out. And yeah, who knows where this all goes, but it's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I will say also like the public narratives are not really keeping up super well with the development of stuff taking place. Most people that are like afraid of AI are just like, oh, data centers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just don't really know any of the stuff that's actually happening in real time. New developments, new techniques, new practices for
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about
these
it
things.
before, but like I only like we're pretty deep into this technology, but I think it's still like only around like 5% of the overall population or less has really gone deep with any of these AI models. Like I think only 5% of the population uses the paid tier models or something like that. So that's pretty wild. We're still in the very very early stages. But yeah, I mean, speaking about next stages, something that I haven't talked about on this one yet, but we have talked about in the past is robots. There's been like a lot of big developments with the robots over the past few days here, so I kind of want to get into that a little bit because I have the theory that like 2027 is going to be like just like a huge year for robotics, and I think that robots have their kind of chat GPT moment. Like I'm not sure when the first version of ChatGPT came out, but when that happened, it was like a inflection point, and everything just started going crazy after that, and the world is just not the same since then. And I think that the robotics are going to have that similar kind of moment in probably in early 2027. This is Tesla's Optimus. They finally put out um, some timelines around production here, and it sounds like they're gonna like actually start producing like the new version, the mass produced version of these Optimus robots could start rolling out by the end of this year. um, and then also like 1x, I don't know if you've seen this. I want to
Mm-hmm.
like the latest around yeah. So, like, for those that don't know, hands are like the biggest thing that has been holding back robotics. Uh, they haven't been able to figure like they've been able to figure out like how to grip things properly with the hands, but they haven't really got like that human kind of hand feel where you can actually grip things with the right pressure and not like break an egg or something like that, or like pick up a screw and not break it, and like using the right pressure for the right use cases and stuff like that, and the right dexterity and all of that sort of stuff. So apparently, this hand problem is at least the new like the new version of these hands are like at another level now, and I think this is going to be like a big unlocker, and this is going to be what kind of takes these robots mainstream now. They're going to start mass producing these, so pretty excited about this. What have you seen around this? Like, what are your thoughts around robots?
I probably less interesting than yours, to be honest, because I'm just not on the robotics train as hard yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, like fine motor skills, super essential for an infinite amount of things. And if you want to begin to see these actually like exist in the household, um, and be used by most people, you're gonna need things like this to be very, very top notch, very, very low probability of failure,
Hmm.
or of accidental destruction. So it also goes to show like, damn, humans are kind of like impressive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy. You can see like a little child kind of develop these skills just automatically, and then like all the smartest people can't figure out how to get this damn robot to like not explode something with his hand by accident.
It's a
Trying to
great
pick it
point.
up. So
Yeah. Yeah. Humans are super complex. It's a great point. Yeah. Like humans, I guess, are the ultimate like AI plus robotic mix. Like we were the ultimate example. But yeah, who knows? Like a lot of people think we're getting pretty close with AI and robots, and eventually, like I guess that's what super intelligence is all about. We will eventually surpass humans. Um, but yeah, who knows? There's still got to be like certain elements of humans that can't be replicated, like the soul and consciousness. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, I don't know. I think robots. I'm just super interested in robots. I don't think they're at their inflection point just yet, but I think 2027 could be that point. And then imagine just having these super intelligence like AI models put inside the brain of these robots. It's gonna be another level.
it's gonna be
Like you can
freaky.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be freaky. Yeah, like basically, like you can buy one of these for like $20,000, and then, for example, you buy like this like supercomputer, like you can get like the NVIDIA supercomputer, super desktop for like I don't know, like $95,000 or something like that. Um, and so you have like this super intelligence that is like completely local in your house, and then you have a robot to go along with it that you can put it in the super intelligence into the robot, and basically you have this like god tier like intelligent like being for like 100K, that can do whatever. Like it can be a world class doctor, it can be a world class builder, it can be whatever you want it to be. um, I don't know. The world's going to be weird, but I think robots is what unlocks this next level.
Yeah. I uh I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I think something that we've kind of mentioned before, but something that I'm waiting for is like the social point, the social like cultural point in at least in the West where people really want to use robots and to adopt robots for a lot more things. I think we're kind of slowly seeing it with things like the Waymo cars or like the you know even like Tesla. I feel like um, a lot of their like AI capabilities, stuff like this. But we're yet to see like mass produce robots in public places in
Yeah, unlike
commonplace activities, I guess.
Yeah, unlike
In
in
the
China,
West.
right? Like, yeah, because like
Right.
in China and places like that, you see robots like kind of walking around and integrated with humans already. And yeah, you're right. We haven't seen that yet. I don't know. What do you think it's going to take for that? I guess we have to first produce these robots. But like, check this out. I don't know if you've seen this. There's this new one called Isaac that just got released, and it's kind of we talked about this a little bit in the past. Like there's a whole like generic robots, like the kind of multi-use generic use robots like the 1X or the Tesla Optimus. But now they're also starting to produce these kind of custom robots that are specific to kind of one task, and they're a little bit cheaper. So like this one you can purchase for like $8,000 and or rent it for $450 a month on a subscription basically. And it's like specifically designed just for like housework, like to be your housekeeper, and maybe a little bit less threatening because it's on wheels. But that also at the same time, that's what makes it cheaper. But it's also a little bit, how's it going to go upstairs and do stuff like that? So it's a little bit less mobile, but it's very interesting. Like, let me turn off the audio. But
Yeah.
it's, oh, why is it now? Oh, there we go.
Some of these just look really cool.
Yeah,
But some of them look really goofy as well. Yeah.
yeah. Super cool though. Like all your laundry, all your housekeeping, all that sort of stuff. This one's just like around the house sort of thing, but for
Hmm.
substantially less money. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of different attempts and like versions of this, but definitely interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a Roomba, but like even better.
Yeah. You have to imagine some like conglomerate thinking like, okay, how are we gonna hijack the society's mind? Like how can we make this be like the cool thing? And then I imagine there's gonna be like a few attempts that are just gonna be god awful.
Yeah,
And then maybe finally we'll get there slowly with I don't know. I guess we'll see, but
I don't know. I think my favorite one is probably the 1X. Um,
hmm that's the one you're gonna pre-order, right?
yeah, that's one I'm going to be getting. This one here. Oh, I don't have like the actual launch video, but like these Optimus ones here, let me share this. These Optimus ones are like super cool looking also. Um, for me though, I mean, you got to like think about the threat level also, because like these Optimus ones are like much bigger, much stronger, um, and probably much more capable of taking you out while you sleep, right? So uh, the 1X ones, they specifically made them like smaller, only capable of like 50 pounds of force or something like that, or 50 pounds of lifting capability, a little bit weak. Basically, they made them smaller, weaker, so that they're less threatening, which I think is good for the average person. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely like something that people are gonna have to think about is the threat level there. What's up, Koa?
Yeah, for sure. What was that metric that you said? Like power, amount of power,
Yeah, amount of like power, force, whatever.
force, capability. Yeah, I mean even 50 pounds is like, small,
It's still a lot,
small
especially for
child could
kids.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how all this plays out. I'm pretty I mean, that's the thing that people are like the most bullish on as well. In CT, they're like, oh, robotics, robotics. Everybody started investing. They're probably right, but
Yeah, and then these figure ones here, these ones are more like kind of designed or targeted at like commercial use cases, but yeah, like super cool, like what they're already capable of. Like these are the ones that they were on like the Amazon working line or whatever it was, sorting packages for days on end,
Mm-hmm.
and then they competed against a human for that. So they're basically at kind of human level capabilities for a lot of this commercial use. Um, yeah, super interesting. Like these ones are getting deployed to a BMW factory already to help out around the factory. Just a matter of time before they're running the factory.
Oh yeah. And then we get the fully autonomous companies. It's
Yeah,
just one AI orchestrating 100,000 little robots and different
yeah,
AI agents. That will be cool though. If that happens, if like we actually see autonomous companies in the next like 2 years, that would be dope.
yeah.
Especially
Like
robotics included.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know like what's going to be all required for that. I think fully autonomous um, is going to be still a little ways out, but like one or two or three person companies with the rest like AI and robots, I think that's the next stage. It yeah, I think you're going to see just like a big influx of entrepreneurship. I think this is what like the next phase is going to come to, is like a lot of people taking these AIs and building like small startups with them. And I think the world is just going to be made up of a bunch of like small companies. Um, because I don't know, the economics don't really make sense anymore for large companies to have like all this overhead and stuff like that. um, if you can get the cost down where like a one or two person company with AI and robots can compete at the same cost as these big companies, then yeah, I don't know, I think the world's just gonna be made up of a bunch of small companies in the future. Just a kind of thought anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to see. These are like really hard to like predict second, third, fourth order effect,
Yeah.
but I can see it to some extent. Yeah.
Anyways, another thing I wanted to kind of pick your brain on and get your opinion on, because I haven't really talked to you about this. What are your thoughts? Because you've been deep in the trenches before. I think you were deep in the Solana trenches. What are your thoughts on all this meme coin hype? Like ANSEM has just absolutely been
There's
blowing
new
up.
meme coin hype.
Yeah, it's new meme coin hype. It's not. It's a continuation of in the past, but ANSEM flipped Trump, went to like almost 500 million, $500 million in fully diluted market cap. I think now it's kind of selling, it's down 50% already, but still holding up like pretty good. And then like another one on Robinhood chain, this CASHCAT, also in like the 200 million range. What are your thoughts on this? Is this sustainable, or is it another phase?
I mean, I think everybody knows how sustainable these things are. You know what I mean? Like, even things
Yeah.
that pump on kind of slowly over time tend to die out just because money distribution goes to the people who are like the best scammers
Yeah.
and the most kind of extractive. So, or it just goes to the platform itself. I mean, Pump Fund made a ridiculous amount on meme coin seasons, few like 100 million, I believe. But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I mean, you see little like meme coin seasons come and go, truthfully. So just depends who gets into these markets and then who's kind of like pushing. But no,
Pushing the
I
narratives.
don't really think they're very sustainable. I know some people who make a decent amount of money.
Yeah.
But it helps to be kind of on the inside, helps to be kind of seeing
I
how the
think
maybe on the teams even or
I think
just
that's
super active.
I think that's what it all kind of like uh, devolves into, is basically just like insiders make money and 95% lose money.
Yeah, over
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
I don't think these meme coin things. I know a lot of people are trying to sell this as like this time it's different because ANSEM is like this big influencer, but like influencers have done this before, and they always have this like what I call like the Burj Al Arab, like the Dubai the Dubai pattern,
Mm.
where it's just like straight up and then straight
Oh yeah.
down. They all follow kind of the same. Like, this is why I kind of talk about in the past, like, treat meme coins like lottery tickets. Maybe you get lucky, but like it always kind of falls as fast as it rises, so watch out. Nothing without intrinsic value can sustain over the long term. I think, like, credit where credit's due. Ansem's done like a decent job of like building up a community around this, and like doing all these like airdrops, and like basically keeping the attention for as long as possible. But it's just a matter of time before, like, yeah, all these like inside wallets that caught like all these big airdrops from ANSEM and like had early supply start selling, and then it's just a domino effect after that. So yeah, be careful out there.
Mm. Yeah, I never recommend anybody like get into meme coin trading. I think it's the worst possible trading like environment you can be in. People are hyper optimized at taking your money in ways that you don't even realize. Like, the rabbit hole goes very deep onto like how sophisticated people um do things in order to kind of seem like a meme coin is natural, organic, whatever. But in reality, it's like very um artificially made and artificially pumped and artificially like distributed.
Yeah.
So yeah, be very careful. And the amount of like money turnover in those spaces is absurd per day. You know, just absurd amounts of money being made and lost.
Yeah.
So I don't
And
really recommend it to anybody.
completely agree. Yeah, like I said, like, just in general, only 10% of short-term traders make money. So, like, and with meme coins, I'm sure it's much worse. And
Yeah.
like, there's like been these like influencers that like have openly said that like, hey, I create all these like hype videos and like to talk about these tokens, and then like the minute I put those videos out, I was dumping the token to try to get like the liquidity. It's like, I don't know like why. There's this thing going around. I can't remember who it was, but what this one influencer dude who's a streamer, talking about how he just like used to like dump on his followers basically. And I don't know why you would like admit to that in public and like talk about that. Like, that is like basically a crime. But like, yeah, trying to get
Yeah.
clout, I guess. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's very well known that like if you're an influencer in the like meme coin space, a lot of trenches, anything like that, like you are not a good person, you know what I mean? Like you there is no influencer that doesn't like dump after, influencing people to buy in some way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess
Uh
that's my point. That's my
yeah.
point, is that like when you see this stuff on X, or when you see like these big accounts like saying like go buy this meme coin, like especially meme coins, especially these coins that have like zero intrinsic value. There's no like utility, there's no like long-term vision or roadmap or anything like that. Like, if you hear or see by the time you see them talking about it on X, like that's the time to sell. Like, I don't know, just be very careful out there is my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, for sure. Like yeah, I just don't recommend, even if you're into meme, because there's just tiers of meme coining, you know what I mean? Like there's people who kind of sit on these launch pads every day and just try and farm, and they see like many launches, they try to get early to some of them. I think this is the most degenerate possible thing you could do, and it's extremely hard to be profitable there um consistently as well over long periods of time, so I just don't recommend it.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
there's like a slightly more like less degenerate but also still pretty degenerate way of trading, where you just kind of you ride social momentum, and you size in kind of bigger, and you're not like super paying attention all the time. I think both of these really are kind of similar, but you know, one of them is painted as like, hey, the egalitarian, everybody can make it. This is not as extractive as these L2s actually, whereas I think it is just as bad,
Yeah,
if not worse.
completely agree, man. Anyways, yeah, be careful out there, everybody. Yeah, those are kind of the topics I wanted to kind of discuss today. So appreciate you. Just to kind of wrap things up here. I like to always look at this rainbow chart, not because I think this rainbow chart like has any predictive capabilities, but it's a good way of kind of seeing where we are in the cycle, and just like a reminder of like what's potentially to come here. So yeah, I don't know. I still think that, like, as you can kind of see from the last bear market, the last bull market was kind of shit, and we're deep down back into the like the low points again, where basically everything's on a fire sale. So yeah, I don't know if you did make any money off memes, or if you're just making money through conventional means, like through income. Like, now is a very good time to be dollar cost averaging into actual quality, because historically the prices don't get much lower than here. Let's see what happens, but I don't know. I think that the next bull season is not too far away, at least the bottom, and we started scaling back up. So I don't know. I think this is a very good opportunity. At least I am dollar cost averaging into quality, and I think that there's bright times ahead. So try to put a little bit more optimism out there.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna start investing or like you're trying to get involved, now's a good time to start accumulating for sure in terms of
Agreed.
market prices. So
Anyways, brother, good to see you again. Good to chat again.
likewise, appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do this
Sleepful
more
setup.
often.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
Gotta get some people here with us too. Yeah.
exactly. Got to get these people into the chat, make it more interactive. But yeah, you'll see a lot more of me and Chris in the future, and other guests coming on. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks, everyone.
Stay tuned, guys. Peace.